If you have received a notice of federal tax lien from the IRS, you need to take action. Your property and your rights are at risk. You must not wait. The plain truth is you should never ignore any IRS notice. We at Britt Associates would be happy to explain to you in detail all of the possible consequences and your legal options if you have received a notice of federal tax lien.
The notice of federal tax lien is very simply the written notice by the IRS that it claims a lien or right against whatever property you may own. It claims a right against your assets. Normally the IRS will file it in the local courthouse where property records are kept. A federal tax lien affects three things: your property rights, your IRS appeal rights, as well as your credit rating. The notice of federal tax lien has three key items of information. The first is the date of the notice, and that determines the deadline that you must file any appeal to the IRS. Second, it gives the officer and the address to whom you must address any appeal. Third, it gives the type of tax, the tax year involved for that tax, the amount of that tax. In addition, it gives the assessment date. The assessment date is important because it gives the start of the 10-year statute of limitations for collection. The notice of federal tax lien can have a severe and dramatic impact on your financial condition. All three credit reporting agencies will normally report the federal tax lien, thus affecting your credit rating. In addition, the federal tax lien attaches to all property, including any equity that you may have. Thus, if you sell or pay off a particular piece of property, the IRS collects. In addition, the IRS tax lien remains in full force and effect until you pay it off in full. Thus, if you have a $1 million tax lien, even though you may only owe $1 of that federal tax lien, it will still show owing $1 million until paid in full. What can you do? Essentially, there are four options. First, you can request a collections due process hearing. You must request a collections due process hearing within 35 days of the notice of federal tax lien, and you must file it with the collections officer that sent the notice. This is a right that's given to you under the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. Second, you may be able to enter into an installment agreement, either a full payment installment agreement or a partial payment installment agreement. Third, you might be able to make an offer in compromise. There are three types of offers and four payment plans. Fourth, in certain cases, you may be able to file a bankruptcy. Some taxes are dischargeable. Even if not dischargeable, you may be able to get more favorable terms under a bankruptcy. We can give you help on all four options. Can you represent yourself? Sure you can, but you shouldn't. I've been practicing for 35 years. In those 35 years, I've represented hundreds of clients before the IRS. In fact, I've represented several lawyers. Appearing before the IRS is complex and risky. You shouldn't do it yourself. Every year, I'm forced to give one or two taxpayers the bad news that they have lost their best opportunity to settle or otherwise resolve their tax debt. Do not ignore a notice of federal tax lien. Contact us at www.brittna.com. Otherwise, the consequences are too dire.
If you receive a notice of federal tax lien from the IRS, your rights and your property are in jeopardy. You are at risk. You should not ignore any IRS notice, particularly a notice of federal tax lien. But you do have options. Contact a qualified professional for help.